Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming back to you with another Great League Remix team. This is actually from the rank 4 player on the leaderboard as of today. It is Mimi GRR at 3217. And yeah, we're going to be going over to the team that they're using. Definitely is an interesting one. Definitely, yeah, a lot of interesting mon on this team and not really running some of, let's say, the more popular mon, Gligar, Quagsire, the Shadow variants of both of those. Yeah, so actually the team is going to be Goodra in the front, just kind of a coverage monster with Dragon Breath and Thunder Punch with Aqua Tail. And along with in the back, it's going to be Shadow Alolan Ninetales, which, to be fair, we have seen a lot of teams with. And then Defense Deoxys with actually the Thunderbolt, which is interesting because I know that I've been touting the Rock Slide variant, and I think even in this first game, I think I was running Rock Slide. But yeah, we switched it up to Thunderbolt and going to be showcasing the Thunderbolt version here. Definitely good against something like Mantine. Going to give you a little bit more play against something like Jellicent, even though it's a losing matchup. Maybe it's going to be lower and you somehow outpace. Yeah, definitely gives a little bit of extra coverage, but then a little bit of lost coverage against things like Gligar and even it's still super effective against Mantine. What was that? I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, the Alolan Ninetales is going to be super effective. So yeah, you lose a little, you gain a little, but let's see how it worked out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. But first, if you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. Alright, so Goodra moveset's on the left side over there, but we obviously just went over them. Anyways, Goodra against Jellicent. This is an interesting matchup because, yeah, we're doing neutral damage to it here with the Dragon Breaths, but it's going to take a second to get to the Thunder Punch. And then they end up coming with DD, and I'm like, ooh, I don't really know what to do. I probably should have just swapped into DD right away. But yeah, again, this first battle, I had Rock Slide on there because I totally told myself to make the switch, and then I didn't. Unfortunately, we get the attack drop there, which is not great for us. And again, we're down on energy because I didn't switch right away. First game of the day, you got to give me some slack on this one. First game in actually quite a while, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure I've played much in the last 5 days. Again, 3 of those days I was sick, and then not really wanting to do anything the next day, and then having to record 2 videos the day after that. So, yeah, a little bit of a, we'll call it misplay, but they end up coming back in with the Jellicent, which is interesting because now I've obviously loaded up with a move. They've also loaded up with a move. They definitely have a Shadow Ball, and I'm probably going to switch after this, maybe try to do some. Oh, they end up switching into Gligar. Okay, we take the shield, then we're going to swap into A9. So it's a question of where do I want to use my shields, and if they show here, I think they actually went to 6 here, which was interesting because then I was like, okay, oh no, that's a different game coming up. Okay, this game I was like, well, I'm just going to call it because they're going to definitely bait on the first one. We have 2 shields. I'm just going to make a call here. And yeah, they do end up baiting, and they actually don't make it to the triple area lease, which is pretty nice. And now we can just go for the farm down here. I don't need to throw these moves, and yeah, Hex not exactly a strong move. Whimsicott obviously is actually so horrific for this team. Obviously, we're bad in the lead, don't have anything that can hit this. We can only hit it for resisted moves. They end up coming in with a Gligar here, which is okay. We can do double Psycho Boost to it, but it's going to live. But, you know, going to do a little bit more damage. I actually end up going for extra farm because I figured they weren't going to throw right away. Then I was like, I'm going to throw way later, and if we CMP, all the better. And we did end up CMPing. Probably just going to let this move go because at this point I kind of have to be all in on A9. It could be like a Quagsire in the back. That would be normal. Yeah, not even going to try to throw a move here. Just going to swap. Maybe they'll stay in and try to throw a move onto our A9, which will give us a lot of extra fast attack damage against the Whimsicott. Luckily, it is not the Charm variant, as we did see earlier. It is the Fairy Wind version. Obviously, we are going to have the shield, but it's also going to be a Seed Bomb every time. Then they end up having Obstagoon, and I'm like, I don't want to shield the first move because it's definitely going to be a Night Slash. Then they end up throwing the Cross Chop. Yeah, I thought they were going to go for the boost. They end up not going for the boost. We get the extra fast attack damage, and actually we end up getting the farm down with Goodra, which is pretty crazy considering that they double resist the Dragon Breath. So a Ninetales lead, very bad for us. I end up going into my own Alolan Ninetales, which is always a losing situation. You will lose the mirror no matter what, but we do get the shield, and it actually gets so low that I'm like, I think I can Dragon Breath snipe this, because as long as you don't get the 1-turn delay in the swap, you definitely get in a 1-turn move before they can throw a charge attack. So, yeah, end up taking a shield and taking out the Alolan Ninetales, which is nice. But on the other end here, now we're going up against a Steelix, and they actually throw right away. This is a huge, huge mistake by the opponent, because now they have no energy. I get to come in with my DD. They end up having an Obstagoon, and this is where I let the Obstagoon definitely hit me the first time, because just in case they boost, you want to take the first one. And of course they boost because, I'm facing them, so what's the point? I end up throwing this move because I was like, okay, I'm not going to get the farm down. Let's see if they want to shield or not. They end up not shielding, and then I'm like, okay, it's a Steelix versus my DD. I have counter. It's super effective. Nice. All right, Diggersby versus Goodra. We obviously have access to the Aqua Tail. I think this is the best matchup for us against the Diggersby, even though we do have a counter user in the DD. We don't have any other moves that we can really throw at this except for Psycho Boost, which I obviously would not want to throw against it. If they end up shielding here, I'm not sure. Maybe I just let it go. Oh, I end up I end up having to catch this move because we would end up losing the Goodra, and I possibly would need that Goodra for later. They end up coming with the Mantine. We can take one hit, so I'm going to take the first hit. Ooh, I actually go for CMP here. This is a mistake. Well, okay, technically we wouldn't have gained an extra move, or they couldn't have gotten an extra move in. I don't know. I think this was fine. I'm probably going to end up going for another CMP here, to be honest. Maybe I could just shield this and then throw it, because we probably end up getting 2 shields here if they let this go. They're definitely not going to let this go. Mantine can do too much damage against other things, but it is good to note that we did take both of the shields. Now we're going to take all the rest of its energy. I can probably just come right in with the Alolan Ninetales. No need to wait. I am waiting the clock, I guess, for a possible switch, but at this point, kind of see everything. It's a real question of, should I shield a Water Pulse here or not? And I don't even remember what I did, even though I did these battles 1 hour and 10 minutes ago. So, interesting. Oh, they end up having... Oh, I do remember saying to myself in this game, they possibly have the Poliwrath in the back. It is my best chance to win. But I probably should have shielded something. Luckily, we are able to take this out, and then... Oh, I think actually Diggersby ends up taking us out before we can do the extra damage with the Charm. But we have enough HP on the DD to at least handle 2 quick attacks there. Probably would have taken 3 to kill, so... Mantine lead, they end up catching here on the Quagsire, which is not great, because this is probably our best matchup against Quagsire as well. What's going to happen here is I probably can end up shielding and going for like a pretty massive farm down if they end up throwing a Stone Edge. It's going to take them 6 to get to the next one. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an Aqua Tail 100%. Now, we do know it is an Aqua Tail, and they're not trying to bait anything either, so they just want to do a little bit of extra damage to us. I think I end up throwing a... Oh, man, Carbink. So I probably have to stand versus the Carbink, eh? Maybe... I'm not too sure. I really don't remember what I did. We really want DD on this, so I'm probably going to stand. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. We can't afford to have Alolan Ninetales on this, obviously. And now it's a question of, do I think this is going to be Moonblast or not? Because if it's Moonblast, I need a shield right now. Ends up being Moonblast. Okay, nice. They end up catching me asleep here at the wheel. I'm going to have to switch. Well, I end up faking the Thunderbolt here, and I think they end up not shielding this anyways. Oh, they do end up shielding it. Great. I'm just going to let Alolan Ninetales go down here. Actually, it's never going to go down. I'm going to end up farming this down and then being able to at least throw a move into the Carbink, which is nice. And then... Oh, man. Wait, do I lose this game? I think I lose this game. How can I possibly win? I guess if they let Weather Ball go, we'd have a lot of damage coming in. Also, we are close to a move on DD. They are not at a move here because they definitely threw the Moonblast. Oh yeah, they're definitely in range for a Psycho Boost. Wow. Yeah, wow. Great game. By us, at least. Okay, it's good to note here in the Goodra versus Dragonite matchup, they can obviously get to a move. They win CMP against you, so you should not throw. But you can actually just one shield farm this all the way down. Then we have at least a double coverage moves to throw into whatever comes in. Ends up being a Quagsire coming in here. I'm going to throw the Aqua Tail because it is neutral, whereas the Thunder Punch is resisted. So we end up getting to double of this, so that's pretty nice. It's a question of should I throw in DD here or should I just kind of let this go down? And I decided to let Goodra go down, probably come in with the DD, farm this down, and then if they come in with something that I can Psycho Boost and dip, that'll be fantastic for us. So they end up coming in with Registeel, and with this shield advantage, it's just actually massive for DD here. So what I'm actually going to do here is just take a Zap Cannon. DD can definitely survive this, and then probably switch into Alolan Ninetales, who can also take a Zap Cannon, and then it's basically using a massive amount of energy up from this Registeel because 2 Zap Cannons just not really killing anything, and it has no kill pressure, and then the Quagsire is super low as well. What I could do is possibly, go for the shield here, allowing DD to possibly win in the back through charge moves if needed. But I end up getting the farm down here on the Registeel, and then I can get the farm down on the Quagsire, so they end up leaving. All right, Shadow Garchomp, weird. They end up coming in with a Shadow Gengar, also weird. I end up going for the shield, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a Shadow Punch, and I can probably farm this all the way down. Then if they come in with the Garchomp, maybe I can just throw Aqua Tail into it, and then they're going to be stuck in here anyways. So if I get a shield, I go with A9, just farm this down, and it literally does nothing. I think this guy ends up having the triple Shadow. Tough. Probably I could shield this. Oh, this is gonna kill me then if it's a mirror shot. Yeah, double super effective. So end up coming with a DD, can farm down. Definitely want to shield this. Really no use not to. They're gonna get countered down at the end of the day. They end up baiting with the mirror shot anyways, but yeah, not going to risk anything. Just going to counter down, and that's going to be GG. All right, Umbreon. This is weird because it's decent for Goodra, but it's also decent for Umbreon. And we kind of really want this Umbreon on the A9, or the A9 on their Umbreon, and we definitely don't want the DD on that. So they end up coming with the Toxapex. I end up going for the Thunder Punch. Something you notice here is Dragon Breath really clouds your vision and able to see when the best time to throw is. So they actually get an extra Poison Jab in right there, I believe. I guess if I'm counting the moves directly, it could be fine. I end up going for the catch here on DD because I'm like, what can I really do at this point? They get the Sludge Bomb. They can actually go for another Sludge Bomb. I end up throwing Psycho Boost here just to make sure that I don't get KO'd by any move here. And if they end up throwing a move, or shielding and throwing a move, I'll just shield and farm down. They come back in with the Umbreon. They definitely can't farm us down, so we are going to still get these moves off. We are Psycho Boost debuffed. Maybe I should have gone for the Thunderbolt against the Toxapex. That was in the last video. And they end up coming in with the... They get a ton of energy. This is the kind of the right thing to do. You're supposed to try to get a ton of energy on all of your Mon in matchups that are really bad. But I end up getting a Thunderbolt off into the Jellicent, and now it's like I got a Thunderbolt off into Umbreon, I got a Thunderbolt off into Jellicent, and yeah, they were super confident in the fact that, hey, you were double reduced because of Psycho Boost, so I'm just going to take those and have these huge shield advantages, but they end up getting just fast attack down at the end of the day. All right, Sableye here in the front, and again, kind of like the Umbreon, really awkward. It's okay in this matchup with the Goodra, but it's actually not. You're going to see they actually can make it to a second foul play with really no resistance at all because they're not going to shield this. I definitely don't want to double shield, so I decide since they're 2 away, I'm going to go for the 1 turn of Dragon Breath and then try to get through. I tried to KO it basically with the charm there, the shadow charm there. I end up deciding I'm going to shield this matchup and try to just get a little bit of damage off through this. They do have a foul play on Sableye, so that is something to really think about. They're going to be kind of out of energy here, so I probably am going to come in with the DD and just farm this down. Although I could farm it down with Goodra as well, and that would be perfectly fine. Actually, that's probably what I will end up doing because we get a little bit more coverage, I guess. They end up coming in with the Mantine. They obviously have 1 shield, so they're going to let 1 go through. I think that was bad timing by me. Not too sure on that one, though. We really have to be careful of the catch, and I decide instead of even allowing a catch to come through, I'm going to come in with the DD and allow Goodra to still have a Thunder Punch for later against this Mantine if needed. I don't really want them to catch the Thunderbolt on... It's good to know that they're basically out of energy here because I think they go for the combo play, which really doesn't do anything to me. Because if they're going to be out of energy on the Mantine, that's going to be even better for me because I'm just going to be able to throw the Thunder Punch into the Mantine. Obviously, I want to get the 1 Dragon Breath for free in, and this should KO. It's double super effective, even though it is non-stab and not really a great move in a general sense. All right, Jellicent. We did see this earlier as well. In the game, it's an awkward matchup. I do want to shield the Shadow Balls. It is a hard hitting move at the end of the day. And Goodra is not the bulkiest mon in the whole scheme of things. They end up switching in their own Goodra. I'm very glad not to throw a move in there. Sometimes people like to throw a move at the mon coming in just to give themselves a second to think. But really, you should be looking at that typing in the top right hand corner. And that should be your whole think and move into the correct matchup if you have one. If you don't, yeah, sure, throw moves all day long. We end up getting a Psyshock into this Jellicent. I think if I remember, they don't go for the shield here, which is a bit awkward. It means that their last mon in the back feels like it's probably either a Shadow Frail mon or a Fast Attack mon. That could also be Shadow, so like Shadow A9. Ends up being Registeel. I could do the exact same thing I did last time, and this guy sees the writing on the wall, and that's GG. All right, Mantine versus Goodra. We saw this a little bit in the last game, but this is straight up Aerial Ace, so I'm like, okay, I don't care too much about this. I can get a shield advantage from this Mantine if I need to. Try to go up to the maximum energy that I can, then going back up to another Aerial Ace. And now it's a question of... They can definitely... KO us with an Aerial Ace, a shield, and a farm down. That's something to think about. So I end up going for... they end up coming in with a Mon, and I don't know what's going on there. At first I thought it was Clodsire, and then I didn't know what it was, so then I did give myself a second to think. Ends up being Dedenne. I don't think they're going to go for the big move here, and I also don't really care too much about the Alolan Ninetales at this point. I'm really hoping that in the back, DD... has already seen 2 like awkward matchups, so I'm hoping that it's going to be good in the back. Nope, ends up being a 3rd awkward matchup for DD. Excuse me. But yeah, they end up getting a little bit scared of the farm down, which actually would have been pretty close to me getting to that move. And they go for the Aerial Ace. Again, great for me. They are out of shields, which is a good thing. And I don't care too much about the HP here on DD. It can definitely soak up a lot of moves. The only thing is I don't really want them to swap. And then I think about it, I'm like, oh, I don't really care that much, I guess. But then I go for this weird combo play because I saw that they were at 1 HP. But they were also out of move, so pretty weird there for me. But obviously we're going to outpace. They did throw all their energy out onto the DD from this Gligar. To be fair, we also still had the DD in the back with a little bit of an energy, basically halfway to the Psycho Boost, so would have been fine either way. They were out of energy. This guy plays the matchup a little weird, and I didn't know exactly what to do here, and I figured, we don't really have to shield the first foul play, but this could be return. And spoilers, it ends up being returned. And they end up taking us out, and then I'm like, could I come in with DD and farm down? No, I'm just going to come in with A9. Now it's terrible for me unless they're super weak to DD in the back. Probably have to shield this. Hopefully it's the Moonblast. I think actually it ends up just being Rock Slide. And I don't know what could be in the back here. Maybe there... Yeah, I don't know what this actually really could be in the back. Ends up being a Gligar. And now I'm like, what do I want to do here? I can go for the double Psycho Boost and hope that the switch timer comes up after that. And I do end up going for the double Psycho Boost. I really need the DD alive for the I just said the name, Carbink. Jesus, it is way too late. I need to go to bed. Anyways, we do end up saving a little bit of HP here on the DD, and obviously the opponent had kind of like amazing matchup from start to finish here, but look how close this ends up being. We actually end up surviving this Rock Slide, and they do end up taking us out, but really I think this kind of shows that you need to be careful when you're you need to be careful. You need to use your shields, because we actually almost ended up winning that matchup just kind of randomly. All right, Superior in the lead. Superior is actually a bit of a weird matchup for Goodra as well. All of your charge moves are resisted by it, but you, at the end of the day, resist grass. So, again, another interesting matchup, but one that you're pretty comfortable being in on Goodra. They end up going with the Shadow Ball here. Really not a lot. I think we've seen 4 Jellicents, and I don't think we've seen one of them bait. So that's nice, at least knowing that a Shadow Ball is coming every time. They end up shielding, and I know that they can get to another Shadow Ball, so I end up coming back in with the Alolan Ninetales, or I end up coming in with the Alolan Ninetales. I know I'm going to take that Shadow Ball, and it's going to be fine. But this is really terrible for me, because they've really cut that switch timer down by a lot. I thought they were going to come in with the Superior, and I was going to get a shield and all that, but now I'm in a really terrible position where I kind of need this DD for the Alolan Ninetales, obviously, because Goodra is a dragon and it's going to be taking super effective damage from the charm. But I'm not quite at the clock, and I do end up getting to the clock perfectly in time. This is definitely going to be a Frenzy Plant. Technically resisted, but still obviously a lot stronger than an Aerial Ace. And they end up throwing an Aerial Ace here, and I'm like, I'd probably live, but not by enough to get to what I want to do. So really bad here. Yeah, I remember this game, and the opponent does something really weird here, and I was like, is this just an Aerial Ace? Because they didn't actually make it up to the Frenzy Plant. Then I get the full farm down, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure to get my counters in between the charms, because it doesn't matter if they have the move, they're going to CMP time me, and I'm going to lose that CMP anyways. So I might as well be playing as efficient as possible still, and hope that these 2 extra counters plus this Psycho Boost is enough to take out the A9, and it was. All right. GG's to all of my opponents there. Again, this is the rank 4 team as of today, which is 20 minutes till midnight. And 7 hours before this video comes out. So it's going to be still the same person, Mimi GRR, 3217 on the leaderboard. Still going to be this when this video comes out in 7 hours. So, I'm tired. I got to get to bed. So if you like this video, definitely hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't, definitely hit the subscribe button. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Actually, I'm going to go catch some Z's. So see you later. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.